All right, welcome Chicago Baseball Podcast Week 10 review, Week 11 preview. As always, I'm joined by my son, executive producer of this show, the commish, Kids for the Win. What's up, buddy?
How's it going there? How's it going?
Good, a little earlier than our normal. So I know you
Yeah,
gotta
the
do
sun's out.
yeah, it's a little crazy. Usually it's a little darker when we're doing this, so it's
I have
nice.
I have to be at work at 4 a.m. tomorrow. So, thanks guys for doing a little bit earlier. Maddie is gay. That's awesome. Thanks.
But it's nice.
Can we just like I'm just gonna get Niz off now. Is that cool?
And as our guest is Niznik, Eric Niznik, I'm sure he's got a lot to say today, especially probably towards you. So welcome, Niz.
What up, guys? How you doing?
Good.
Just like to say, it's fun to join you guys, and I'm glad you guys are still doing the show. I've actually got a good name for you guys. It's the Maddie Talks Over Everybody's Points show. So
He's already.
I'm just ready for my segment where Maddie gets to talk over me the whole time.
It's already started. Here we
You know it's bad when last week PJ's laying into me the whole time, and I still felt bad for him because Maddie was talking over him the whole time.
I let him talk. I think I talk over Dom more than anybody.
Yeah.
Well, Dom starts saying he's got good comments, and I just like, oh yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, we're kind of in a flow. It's a little family bonding, you know. Speaking of signing up, having guests, and this is welcome back for the second time. Hopefully, this will be a lot better than last time. And speaking of sign up, everyone has signed up so far except for Chris and Max. You two pussies need to sign up and come on the show and give us some advice. Tell us what's going on. You guys can find some time in your busy lives to talk to us and the rest of the league. So that's my challenge to you two pussies to come on and join us. So on to fantasy, non-fantasy. Finally, we had Dallas Keuchel sign with Atlanta for the rest of this year at $13 million, and so it should be interesting when he should be ready to go. And then I know his first pitching today got rained out, I think. And then obviously all you Cub fans are excited, especially Ken Fung. Kimbrel signing 3 years at $43 million. So what do you think, buddy?
You know what? I originally did not think the Kimbrel thing was good, but again, listening to Athletic the other day on Friday, it's a good signing. I really do think it's good. I watched the press conference. I watched, just looked at some of the picks. That guy looks happy as hell to be a part of the Cubs organization, and it's talk right now. Let's see how long it takes him to get into the fold of things. They still got Strop, and I think it's maybe a top 5, top 8, bullpen. It's good. I don't know why the Cubs they just can't find a closer in their system though. They keep having to go out and get one, and it hasn't always worked. Kimbrel, Chapman. I mean, that was good. I think that worked, but it was a short-term thing. I don't know, but I'm happy. I think it's good. I don't know why more people weren't on it. I was telling you too, Domino. The Rays were the runner-up, and I think that was a more kind of keep it honest bid, if you will.
But the interesting thing about it is he didn't really sign for that much more than what they paid him last year. It was only up $1 million more than what he made last year per year. So it was a heck of a signing, and I bet teams I'm happy as hell. I'm sitting on Luke Jackson, and I really thought Atlanta was gonna get both of them because there's a lot of teams out there like him even going back to Boston, with all they can't seem to find a closer too with Barnes and Brazier and stuff like that just going in and out. So I mean I was really surprised the Cubs got him, and for as cheap as they actually got him. So
yeah, I agree with everything you said. I don't know why more teams weren't in on him, but oh well.
Yeah, the Dallas Keuchel one is the one that's I don't think he's going to do anything. I'm not a big Dallas Keuchel fan. I know this is like Ken's like super happy because he's got both of these players, but Kimbrel's a decent closer, and he'll be up in like 3-4 weeks. But Keuchel's just, if you look at him, he like 153 strikes for 211 innings pitch. I mean, that's just not, or strikeouts. That's not good. His strikeout per 9 is just terrible. Like I'm not a fan of Keuchel. Like he's not the type of pitcher I normally go for.
Yeah, he's not like a number 1 or 2. He's probably more of a 3, 4 in there. But I know they're pretty aggressive right now, and they feel like that's what they needed. So they've been struggling for pitching, and they didn't want to give up anything. So
Maddie or Dom, who's out of the Atlanta rotation then? Is it Julio? Is it Fulte? I mean, who's the guy getting knocked out there?
It's Gausman.
Yeah.
You think it's Gausman too? Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I mean it yeah, I think it is no matter what. That's what I'm thinking it is. I mean, he's gonna be back, and it's funny, just going back to the signing real fast. The Braves have signed 3 or 4 midseason signing or starting pitchers that have won the Cy Young, and all of them have done horrible that season. It was Bartolo Colon, Keuchel. I forgot the other guys. I was trying to look it up.
No, I heard the same thing this week too. It was Cologne, and who was the other guy?
It was 3. It was 3. 3 now. Yeah. I think I'm messing up, but it was just an interesting fact. I'm like, whatever. But I think Gausman's gone, and the thing I was thinking about though too, they have those 2 young guys. So they have Max Fried is pitching right now, and what's the other guy? The guy that's doing really well. Drew's got him. Drawing a blank. My God, every time we do this, I draw a blank. But anyways, they have a young pitching staff, so I think they're going to have some rest.
And you're talking Max Fried or
Tercena?
No, it's an S.
Soroka.
Thank you. Soroka and Max Fried. They still got Kyle Wright in the minors. He hasn't been doing that well, and then I mean they have more starting pitching than anybody else does. So it was a little shocking, but I think that they wanted some veteran leadership, if you will. But we'll see.
Yeah,
I think
we shall see. But I know Ken is very happy. Speaking of fantasy news, Maddie, what do you want to discuss about?
So I was talking to Niz the other day, or actually I was just kind of bashing him because he was losing to Ken. And Niz goes on a rant that I don't know anything about advanced stats and things like that. And I will say that I don't know much about them. I don't. I look at what I look at, and I use those to sometimes I don't even know what I use them for, but I do look at them. And I think that sometimes it gets a little crazy and a little out of hand because they keep talking about this stuff, and where does it correlate to actual what we do in fantasy, ERA, whip, if you're talking about pitchers, and I saw this new one. I don't know if you guys heard about it, but it's again on The Athletic. Drink air density and visual memory. Have you heard of this?
Yeah.
You did?
I haven't heard about air density.
No.
Yeah. So
obviously memory.
It's a piece by Al Malkier, and I might say this a little wrong when I'm talking about it, but it was saying basically how where mainly pitchers go to different ballparks from their home ballpark, or just different ballparks in general, and the air density from ballpark to ballpark can change, so it's different the way the batter sees the ball.
Well, it's not only that; it's their release. Like they talk about the air density affects the release point and the breaking pitch too. So how much break they get on the pitch and everything. So that's why like pitchers have a tough time going to Colorado in general. Like the hitters do better, but the pitchers do worse too because their breaking pitch doesn't do as well in Colorado as well.
Yeah, and then the visual memory index.
That one I don't know.
the VMI, if you will. They're just so, and the piece was on Felix Hernandez, for example, and it was just really crazy and interesting looking at it. And so in LA, he has a 0.93 VMI, which is like really, really good, you know. And then when he went to Houston, or no, sorry, he's at home playing against the Angels, and he had a 0.93. Then a week later, he played against Houston, and it was negative 4.52, and he got crushed, just crushed. And then he went to the Angels and he had a negative 2.69, and again he got pretty much lit up. But then at San Diego, it was a 0.83. I don't know. I was looking at it. It's interesting to see like hitters. The most recent one was talking about the when the Colorado played the Cubs, and how the VMI for the batters was like just crazy low. And they were saying that when they left Colorado and they got to Chicago, the air temperature just in general was like, I think it was like 50 degrees different or something like that. It was crazy. It was really cold in Colorado, and it was warm in Chicago that day. And they said it was just bad for him. And if you looked at that series, even Nolan Arenado, I think he had 0 for 4, 1 for 3, and it was not good for them. So I don't know. It's something to look at. It was interesting. I thought, again, I'm not sitting here saying I'm a, advanced stats whiz. I'm not. I look at some of them, and I use those to like players I like, and, see what players are going to do sometimes. But another advanced stat that's, taking a little steam, and might see it out there someday. So I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, I know they always make a big deal about the humidor in Arizona, and obviously Colorado, and then Chicago when it gets warmer out, especially in the upper Midwest. It gets a little warmer how the ball flies out. But other than like Yankee Stadium, which is a launching pad, especially the right field. But that's something interesting that they're discussing and kind of looking at as something advanced stats.
Yeah.
All right. So we will move on to this week's matchup. We'll start it with you and Maddie, you versus Memo. 5-4 win for Memo, so that's a upset win there. I know, like, homers was separated by 1, stolen bases 1, Ks by 3, and you tied quality start, so it could have easily gone your way. But not a great offensive week for you. Pretty average. Lost OBP, shocking, but it was 319. 4 saves for you, 4 quality starts. So, thanks, Nis. But yeah, solid. I guess a win for Memo that was needed for sure.
What happened to the best team in the entire league right there? Huh?
Well, hey, we have off days. I just want to say, I don't know, did anybody else see my Saturday?
No,
I did not see your Saturday.
It was Scott texted me. He's like, "You're having an unbelievable week." I had 6 home runs and like 14 RBIs. This matchup is what it ended up being was not really what it is. Like, if it wasn't for I'm trying to get to it right now. If it wasn't for my Saturday, I was losing like 0-8, 0-9 on Friday, and I'm like, "There's no way." Like, I was hoping it maybe at best it was like gonna be a 2-8, because I was like close in stolen bases. I think we're tied. But on Saturday, it was unreal. I don't know why my computer's taking so slow, but I texted Nace, I texted Memo just the other day too, and I was like trying to look for a trade, and I told him like his hitting, like top to bottom, like he doesn't have too many, I would say, holes. I think they're all really, really good.
Yeah,
and
you had 12 RBIs,
No,
8
I'm not.
runs, 1 stolen base, and OBP of 350. But yeah, 6 homers on Saturday.
Yeah, 6 homers on you got it.
Yeah.
So it really, the matchup wasn't as close as it says in the end. I had a really good week, but look out for Memo's team. He's gonna put it together, and these guys are gonna hit. Especially people like Goldschmidt, who went on a tear at the beginning of the season, he's going to go on a tear again at the end. And Edwin Encarnacion is going to be on a different team, playing in probably a better ballpark than Seattle come July. And then, his guys in between there are good too. Conforto's always been hot. Soto.
Eaton's shit, though.
Fine. Like I said, he doesn't have – he's – everyone's got a bad player on their team.
Eaton's, if we're playing in a points league, you may be playing Eaton. But, really, okay, he's got 1 home run for the week. But he's not really – he doesn't really contribute in a categories league. So, he's got a hole there. He needs a – when there's a guy like Cinch.
I'm gonna talking over you. Shut up. You have Billy Hamilton on your team. You still fucking play him. Shut the fuck up. He's got one bad guy on his team. God damn, give the kid a break. He's got no money, and his pitching staff's amazing. So shut up. But anyways, yeah. Memo's team's good. All I gotta say is Didi Gregorius came back. He played 2 games. He was 2 runs, 1 home run, 2 RBIs, and had an OBP of 500. So everyone that didn't want him and said Didi sucks, you go fuck yourself.
Yeah, you got Nelson Cruz back. So you got a lot of your DL guys coming in, and once you get Judge back, hopefully, whenever that happens, you'll have some power for sure.
Oh yeah, I am hoping not to lose home runs really that much. I made a trade with Scotty. Kind of need a second baseman, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, go back to Memo. He's got Moncada, Bogarts, Conforto, Soto, Goldschmidt. So he definitely has some definite power in that lineup for sure. And then his big 3 didn't do so bad this week either. So
no, they didn't. They were really good.
Mm-hmm. So he could be that sneaky team. We'll get to his percentage of winning later with Niz, but a very close matchup. Thanks to Saturday for you, buddy. Anything else you want to add? Niz, you want to tell him how much he sucks? Oh, your beer of the week, buddy.
Yeah, beer of the week. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Keeping me in check there, buddy. So beer of the week, we got, I wrote some notes on it because I thought it was really good. Actually, I chose the same beer of the week that they did last week on the Athletic drink. It's Niz, you want to talk about it? Because Niz, I showed Niz and he's like, oh yeah, I've had that before. Foggy Geezer.
War Pigs and 3 Floyds, right?
Yep. I just think it's pretty cool how War Pigs is in Denmark, right? Niz, Denmark, is it right?
Yep.
Okay. And 3 Floyds is in fucking the armpit of Illinois, Indiana.
Well, War Pigs collaborates with a lot.
Okay, I did not know that. That's cool. Do they?
Yeah.
And then I don't know, just it's an American IPA. It's funny. I looked at it. I went to the War Pigs website, and 10 of their beers they have on tap right now are all American IPAs or versions of that. So I thought it was pretty funny. But it's got a good balance of dank and fruitiness. Really strong on the pineapple and mango type smells. But again, one of the hazy kind of fruity beers that I've been attracted to this year and this summer. So gonna drink a little bit of it and we can move on.
Very nice. Is there anything you want to say about Matty before we move on to the next matchup?
No, his team sucks. I can't believe he lost to a 10th place team.
All right, Chris and Max, 5-4.
I at least tied.
Fuck you. Your team sucks. This is
5-4. Chris, solid win. Very good offense for both of them. Getting it done. Pitching wise, Chris no saves again. That's going to come back to haunt him. But Max, 8 stolen bases, 42 RBIs, 12 homers. Solid offensive week for both these guys. A little low on the OBP with Max with 8 stolen bases. That'd be a little higher. And same with the runs, 34. Not horrible, but I thought it'd be a little higher with all those stolen bases.
Yeah. I don't know. Chris, I had it down 45 runs, 14 home runs, right? And then RBIs 38. Is that correct? That's a great week.
Mhm.
He's got a solid team.
Yeah, he does. And then nice pickup with Chirnos, the catcher from Houston, and he helped him out a lot this week. I mean, a lot. And then I don't know. How many home runs? Just give me a number. Moustakas is going to hit this year. I have him over 40. I think he can hit like 45, 50 home runs in that field,
Yeah.
in that ballpark. It's crazy.
I mean, it Brewers Park. I mean, that's a hitter's park, and it definitely that's all he really adds to it and stuff. And I sort of like their idea. They've had like an unconventional second baseman, and they sort of know that, hey, what we do well is we hit the ball in our park, so we don't care about defense at second base. We're going to throw guys like who was the guy Travis Shaw last year, who's not really a second baseman. Now Moustakas there. I mean, it's unconventional, and I mean, I think more hitters like Yankees should do something like this too. I mean, just throw a guy that can hit there, because who really cares? It's put them in a hitter's park and they're going to hit, 40, 50 home runs,
I will say, like, just going. Oh, and Chris made a trade. I thought it's a good trade. I think either ways, I didn't see anything really that bad about it, but I thought it was a good trade. Max, just so everyone knows, Max, 3 of the guys that Max got in the recent trades: Baez, 5 runs, 3 home runs, 10 RBIs, 0 stolen bases, 346 OBP. Reyes, who we got from me, 5 runs, 3 home runs, 5 RBIs, and 0 stolen bases, a 345 OBP. And then Schwarber, 6 runs, 2 home runs, 4 RBIs, 1 stolen base, and a 417. And it's hot. It's going up from the game that he played today. So nice job with the trades, Max. Selling or not, I don't know. Honestly, I think he's going to win on every single trade he made so far. They're all looking really, really good.
Yeah.
But his team though. But I mean, Max's team too. So he's got, I mean, might be just one of the unluckiest teams this year. Really, it might be.
Yeah, and I think outside of Scott, Drew, and Scotty, like, it's wide open. It's going to fluctuate every week, the way these matchups are going. So he's definitely, him and Memo are another team that could be hanging around there again. So it should be interesting, those guys, especially the way he's making those trades.
Yeah. Hey, breaking news! I just got offered a trade
From who?
from Sean.
That's always good news for the person he's trading with.
You want to hear it?
Absolutely.
So I offered Sean Rhys Hoskins for who's he got on his team? Pitcher from the Cubs. I don't even know who I offered him. It's bad.
Kendricks.
Yeah, Kendricks. And he said no, which is fine. But he said, his pitching, he's pitching really well, so he didn't want to do it. But now he just offered me Ryan Braun and John Lester for Rhys Hoskins.
I think we know where that's going.
Yeah.
That's a reject.
Just did it.
Sorry.
And also, like, know who you're playing with. I have too many guys on my bench. I can't take 2 for 1s anyways. Just ask for 2 for 1s. So.
Yeah,
but yeah, Max and Chris.
You need to make the opposite. You need to be giving 2 players for 1.
Right. Good week, Chris. Good week, Chris.
Yes.
And
we are moving on to Niz and Ken, a 5-5 tie. Again, Ken doing it again. He tied PJ a couple weeks ago, and now he's tying Niz. Just making some trades, so I know he might be slipping the next couple weeks, but that's 2 out of 3 weeks where he's tied PJ and Niz now. Niz, hell of a offensive week. 37 runs, 14 homers, 39 RBIs, 4 stolen bases. That's probably going to win you most weeks. Pitching.
Yeah, I went up against 8.
Yeah. Pitching, not great, but not horrible, other than quality starts. 1 quality start. But, Ken getting 5 of those guys. But that should be dropping for him. you know, I know you probably wish you would have done better. Obviously, what do you got to say?
Yeah, this is 3 weeks in a row. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little concerned. My pitching 3 weeks in a row has let me down. So,
It sucks.
Well, it's funny because like I was bragging like a month ago to Maddie that I thought I had one of the best pitching staffs out there. And now you got, like a lot of the guys, like you could tell they were cutting a lot back on Caleb Smith. Or a lot of the guys just aren't a lot of my starting pitchers. Patrick Corbin's getting blown up lately, and a lot of the stuff is like I'd be really concerned and I'd be trying to do something, but everything that I'm hearing on them is, oh, this is just like, it's that time of the year, and you just gotta go through it. Like they're really not concerned on what.
I said, what are they, women? Is that time?
No, you know what it is. It's like unless you've got like
Corbin's on his period right now, so he's not pitching very well.
Unless you got Verlander, you're essentially you're going to have ups and downs. I mean, it really is. Like I loved your guys' episode last week. Besides Maddie talking over PJ's points, that starting pitching is really tough to get in this league. It to get consistent. You look at a guy like Scherzer and Sale and stuff. Like I was mocking Memo earlier in the year because Sale was getting blown up. Like they're really, other than Verlander, there's been no pitcher that's consistently like in and out every week is bringing it. So I've had a couple weeks where a couple of my guys that are normally studs are just not doing well. The nice thing is I think I'm set up for the saves and stuff. Like I like my closers a lot, and I got two top end closers and a couple guys that'll pick me up stuff from time to time. So. Four saves in a week I feel is low. I'd like to point out I'm still hitting 14 home runs with my three best home run hitters on DL or IL or whatever you want to call it. So that's why I'm optimistic, is because when those guys get healthy, I think like Maddie, I'm sorry you said nobody's going to beat you in home runs. Nobody's going to beat me in home runs if I get Stanton, Gallo, and Springer back. So.
Well, I mean, I'm going to get Judge back. And
I got three judges right there.
You don't have three judges. And Hunter Pence is going to be – I just look at your team, like, for the last couple of weeks, you got Amed Rosario and Hunter Pence hitting like, at least 2-3 home runs. Each got you a stolen base this week. But they're 4 for 21 and 4 for 24. So Hunter Pence had 2 home runs, had 4 hits. And out of those 4 hits, 2 of them were home runs.
Gotta love the home run.
Rosario,
you gotta love the fly ball revolution. He's had that same coach that what's his face had, and the guy that the big guy that
JD Martinez. Yeah, I know. Yeah. JD Martinez. He was. Yeah,
JD Martinez.
But I don't know. I mean, like it's impressive. 14 home runs again is impressive. 37 runs, 39 RBIs. Again, your OBP is low. It's 329. Just going back to it, Drink Athletic. Eno Saris did a thing on exit velocity. We have 5 seasons now of exit velocity. And like the big one, I think it was like number 3 was Hunter Pence. His exit velocity for the past 5 seasons. And is like, I think it's like, it's here, real fast. I have it right here. It was like crazy. It was so weird how it was different, but it will take me too long to get to it. I don't want to waste too much time.
While you're looking for that, Niz, you want to do your beer?
Yes, I do.
Beer of the week.
So I am repping the local beer. I got the Metal Monkey going today. 2 of them. I've got Simian Fever and the Goulet. One's a Citra IPA, very drinkable, easy to drink, nice summer beer. And then the Simian Fever is a wheat ale. Was perfect with the burgers I cooked tonight. So another grill night for the Niznik's household. So
I was enjoying your sausages with those brats you had in the corn.
So disappointed with those sausages. I didn't realize I bought cheddar brat sausages, and they were not good.
Oh.
I thought I was just getting regular
sausages. Really good. They looked really good.
So.
Very nice. Very nice. Matt, did you find what you're looking for, or are we going to move on?
I did. in the middle of the pod. Thanks. This is Max. But so he's number 2 actually. Hunter Pence career exit velocity, exit velo is 89.9. In 2019, he's got a 92.8, but in 2018, he was at an 88. So his difference is 4.8. Number 2 on this list. Number 3 actually is Carlos Santana, Domino. But it's crazy. A 92.8 is like just behind. I think. Well, actually, it's not 92.8. Yeah, like Gary Sanchez. Like most of these guys on your team, it's hilarious. So you got like George Springer, Gary Sanchez. Don't you have Gallo? No, he's not on here. Brian.
Really?
No, he was not on here. Three guys. Hunter Pence. So your guys. Again, I'm not going to say I know what this means or what this is. I can read it to you, but we're not going to go there. But I don't know. I don't think you got a bad team. I think you got a good team. I just think some of your guys, Pence and Piscotty's on there too. He's got a high exit velo.
You guys got to realize, like, once I get Springer and
are they coming back?
Yeah, you mocked me about Hamilton, but like Hamilton's normally not a guy that I'm gonna play once I get. Like, he's probably the guy that's gonna go off once some of these guys come back. Like I just think that. Yeah, I mean, I'm playing with what I got. And Hamilton didn't have a bad week for me, so there you go.
He was 2 for 11 with 1 RBI and a stolen base.
357. I don't care. 357 OBP.
Sounds good. Good job.
He's not one stolen
Okay,
base.
let's do next matchup.
All right, moving on to Scotty and Dave. 8-2 wins. Scotty taking advantage, but of Dave selling off. But what a boring offensive group. 9 homers to 6 homers, 19 RBIs to 17. What a joke. This is the best team, one of the best teams, and I out doubled him in RBIs. And that's I mean that's a weak offense. But 5 stolen bases for Scotty, solid. 8 saves. He's up. Those saves are just like up there with stolen bases. You guys, Niz, you guys, Sean, all have that market on the saves. 83 Ks for Scotty, 7 quality starts, solid numbers pitching wise, but offensively, wow, that's bad. Other than the 33 runs, that's a weak offense.
Yeah, where was that last week when I was playing against them? Wow.
Yeah, I was in the same thing. I was looking at it, and I'm like, I mean, he wins. Like, I don't know if Scotty's got like a horseshoe stuck up his ass or what it is, but I mean, I was trying to look at if he did the league stats, and you go to Scotty's matchup. Where's Scott? Bob the Belt 33. I mean, 33 is not bad. He's going to win. You know, he'll win half of it, but not the 19 RBIs. I mean, he's going to lose that 5 stolen bases. Most people, you know, that's not too bad. I mean, most other weeks, I mean, this week he would have played most other teams. He probably would have been a 5-5 tie at the worst, or he would have lost. If he would have played like Drew, he would have lost. If he would have played, I don't know, Chris, he would have lost, I think. Yeah. So he would have played me. We would have tied, I think. So
I would have tied him.
You would have tied him. So I don't know. He plays me last week, and I had an offensive juggernaut, and I lose to him, like bad. And so I don't know. Dude's got a horseshoe stuck up his ass or some shit.
He knows how to do it. He's got, yeah. So I don't know, but you know, he's gonna take advantage of the win. So good for him. He's gonna get Sean next week. We'll talk about that later. But he took advantage of Dave selling off. So Dave making good. He's him just like Max making, I think, pretty good trades so far. Just selling off so far.
Yeah,
I think he's done pretty well.
I mean, I wrote down on my list. He's probably got one of the best pitching staffs. It's not really showing it, you know, a little bit here and there. But so we'll see.
All right, move on to me and Sean. 7-3 win for Sean. I had a solid 3 categories in offense: runs 40, homers were a little lower this week, 11, 40 RBIs. Got 2 stolen bases this week. I tried playing Broxton to get some stolen bases, but he only got me 1. OBP was down because of playing him and some other guys. A 329. Pitching, I thought I was going to try to sit, but a couple guys got blown up this week. But Sean having 8 saves, 8 quality starts, 85 Ks, 5 stolen bases, right in the middle there. But his pitching looking really solid for Sean, looking really solid.
So Domino, this is what I got. I wrote down, WTF, how many home runs you're gonna hit this every week. So year to date, you're 6-3-0 on home runs. You won this week in home runs, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So you're gonna be 7-3, and you'll have the most home runs, or you do right now year to date, 116. You're in first place in home runs. Second is this guy at 113. You're going to pass me on that one. I think I might even go to third. But you have guys that like to hit home runs. It's utterly ridiculous. And at this time last year, the guy who had in the first place in home runs had 104. So you have a lot more home runs. I think it's a big amount. 104 versus 116. So I don't know. It is what it is. I didn't go any further with that and see what it was at the end of the season, so we can look at it. But 104 versus 116. Again, that would be through week 9.
Just like to point out that another team that's like, guarantee like one of the top teams in the league, kind of had a shitty week in offense. Like 26 runs, 7 home runs, 31 RBIs. That would have lost against pretty much every other team out there. That's bad.
Well, just go back to what I was saying about Max's team. I mean, Max just made those trades with him, right? And it didn't look that good that 1 week he made it, but you traded away a guy that in Baez, who had 3 home. What did Baez have? I just said it. He had 3 home runs.
Yeah.
Baez and Schwarber together. Those were both on his team. So if you would have kept them and he didn't have fucking his Arrieta, who had 4.2 innings, 3 Ks, a 9.64 ERA, and a 2.57 whip, he would have had 11, 5, 14, 1. If you add those numbers to what he got there, I mean, he at least wins home run. He wins RBI, so I don't know. He would have more wins, whatever you want to call it. That week of 26-7-31, it sucks.
Yeah.
Again, though, I don't know how the fuck his pitching staff's doing it. Like, I mean, I really don't. Like, every week he's in there. You look, he's number 1 in quality starts, which is 50. The guy who's number 2nd is 48, which is me.
I hate you.
Yeah. But I mean, Dom let off with it. How the hell? I mean, you look at Sean's pitching staff and you look at Scott's pitching staff, or you look at Memo's pitching staff, and it's like, you would think that like those guys would have ERAs in the 2s every week, and Sean consistently does in a whip of 1.7. And it's not like he had 81.2 innings pitched.
Well, no,
81. It's insane. Utterly insane.
So I know you listen to a lot of the same podcasts and stuff like that. Trevor Richards, Kyle Hendricks, or not Hendricks so much, but Bieber and Odorizzi, like all are candidates for regression based off of what they're doing. Like all 3 of those guys are like hitting way past their like what they normally do. Like I'm not hitting, but they're pitching way past what they normally do. Their advanced metrics are saying like I heard them talking about Odorizzi the other day. They were saying like he should have like a 4 ERA. Like it's not like he should not be doing like he's got one of the highest fly ball rates in the entire league. They're just not going out of the park. Like his home run, like his home run rate is like abnormally low for somebody who pitches that high in fly balls. So yeah, he's getting super lucky, and it's amazing where his team is at right now. So
well, I also like to point out, I mean, he's got some good guys on the team who he drafted, and Hendricks, Bieber. What the hell's going on?
Sorry, my kids. Good night. Good night. Sorry.
Hey, Domino, make a note. Make a note. Niz is no longer allowed on. But I just gonna point out he picked up in the last 2 weeks Odorizzi, he picked up Richards, he picked up Julio Tyron, and all those guys this week had just combined. I mean, there was 8, 5 strikeouts, an ERA under 2, and a WHIP at 1 or lower. So you can't really pick up 3 guys off the waiver wire and have them pitch like that. And all 3 of those guys are top 10 pitchers this week. And you look at it like his guys who we got in trades are Arrieta, who sucked. Again, Jake Arrieta sucks, Sean. I don't know why you like him. And Carlos Carrasco, who, I wish him the best. I hope everything works out for him, but he's not even playing for him. So he trades away.
No, he's got a blood disorder. What's going on with him? Like, that's nuts what happened.
Yeah, I wish him the best. I don't know. That's sad.
And then he trades for Lindor and drops him.
Yeah, I mean, so he's in first place. Again, his team's doing really well, but there's no rhyme or reason to anything that he's doing. I'm sorry. There's literally, he's got lucky with 3 pitchers he picked up. The 2 guys he traded for are not even playing for him and suck. And then his hitters that he traded away they're doing amazing. I just listened to the beginning of the Cubs game, talking about Kyle Schwarber and just, I mean, Joe Madden. Like, I mean, I think he's got a hard on for the guy. Like, it's insane. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's got Braun. I mean, just kidding. No, he's got Yelich. He's got Bryant. Marte's there. Corey Seager's gonna be coming back. Chapman. I still watch him hit, and I don't know sometimes how he does it, but he's gonna hit those home runs. But I don't know. I think it's a good team. This is though if you had to look at it like under a microscope, this might be one of those teams that you see at the second half just start falling down.
I agree.
Yeah. And then lastly, PJ versus
I gotta
Drew.
pee. You guys are gonna have to take this one.
All right. Yeah. Oh boy. Solid win for Drew, 8-2. PJ. I know he was joking last week that Niz, you were selling. I'm not quite sure who should be selling, but Drew, solid offense, 39 runs, 15 homers, 39 RBIs, 365 OBP, and 6 quality starts, and a WHIP of 0.94. Drew, solid week against PJ.
Yeah,
PJ had a good runs this week.
It was
RBIs, but
it was close though.
That was about it.
32-10. I mean, yeah, Drew really definitely had a crazy week this week, and PJ wasn't too far off with his pitching. The problem with PJ is like not problem, but like the thing that PJ's got is he's got so many pitchers. Just going up against him the other day, I mean, he's stacked in that pitching category, and it's tough to play against them. So I mean, his guys didn't really do well this week. So
yeah,
but he was close.
Yeah, PJ kind of fluctuates with his Ks, especially when he has when he gets all those double starts. That's when he starts cleaning up on those Ks. But when he doesn't, he gets these weeks of like 48 Ks. I mean, yeah. So we were talking about Drew and PJ's matchup.
I think PJ should start selling, right?
I know he shouldn't. Maybe he shouldn't. I did put down the first thing I wrote on PJ. His team is falling down, or at least he's falling to like average, if not below average. I think though, if you look at it, he had a good week. Drew just had a better week. Is kind of what I wrote about it. So I don't know. Maybe he's got a little unlucky. I don't know. It's like when you have a week like that, you kind of look at it like, shit, I need to make a trade. My guys aren't doing well. But, I mean, I don't know. You kind of if you dissect it a little bit more too, though, I mean, Jay Bruce for him had 6, 4, 11. I mean, Jay Bruce is half of his team. If Jay Bruce didn't get traded and Jay Bruce, or went to a different team or he was still in Seattle, I don't think he would have done that. Jay Bruce seems like one of those guys. He just needs to be traded every year, and he goes off for a week or two. So Jay Bruce did that and still didn't help you. Drew, though, I mean, I got Drew's a great team. I think he's got a 39, 15, 39, one stolen base, and a 365 average. OBP, I mean, it's good. Anderson had a bad week for him. He's getting Clevenger back. That's a solid team in my book, if not one of the better teams in the league.
We'll get into that soon here.
Yeah. PJ had a rough week. You know, he plays most. You know, if he would have played Sean or Scott, he's looking good. But you know, he plays Drew and
anybody playing Scott this week will look good,
except for Dave. but yeah. But PJ will tell you he has JD. You know, he's kind of banged up, and then he's got obviously Altuve and the shortstop on his DL. So that's what he's really hanging his head on, is the artillery coming, you know, save him there. So, but yeah, we're talking about
those guys are worth. I mean, he's got two. He's trying to trade second baseman, and I was telling Niz he wanted the world for Altuve. I mean, and his pitching where it is good, and Ryu Niz, you were talking about pitchers earlier. You know, kept saying Verlander. Ryu's right there with him again this week.
Right.
You know, I mean, he's
like the forgotten guy this year, though. Like he's been so solid, but like, yeah, you just you don't even think about it because it's like it's Ryu. Like you don't expect this from him. So yeah, he's been solid though.
Yeah, I mean, and PG's he's got guys on his team that are kind of up and downs. I mean, you Darvish again. I mean, this last week or the week ago that I played him, he was unbelievable. You know, and then now this week, you know, a couple starts later, it's 5 innings, 5 strikeouts, a 3.38 ERA, and a 1.13, you know, WHIP. It's okay, I guess, kind of. Strasburg had a double dipped with 12 strikeouts and 12 innings. Got one quality start. So I don't know.
All right. Well, that wraps up this week's. Now we're going to go on to Niz's guest topic. He wants to talk about ranking / Ken Fung.
Hey,
we muted him.
I muted myself. Sorry. You know what? I didn't realize you still wanted me on when I tied Eric, and I didn't kick his ass. So, you know, I was not expecting it. So I was actually doing some shopping. So I'm in my car right now driving.
All right. Well, I was trying to get you on when we were talking about it, Ken. That's all right. But you did tie just real quickly, and then we're gonna kick you off. But you did tie Niz. And you have one of the worst teams, is what Niz was saying, right? And all Niz is advanced stats and everything. He couldn't do anything better. Are you driving? Should you be driving?
I'm driving.
I feel like we should be using a court of law against us somewhere.
You know what? Niz's advanced metrics says that I can drive and I won't get in an accident. That's what his advanced metrics tell me.
I think that's the Asian metrics.
Yeah.
I'm staring at the street. I'm not like watching. I'm not looking at you guys too often when I'm doing this, so it's okay. Anyways, you guys were saying?
No, that was it. I'm going to kick you off, but did you have any words for Niz and hit your 5-5 tie?
Yeah, you're Niz. Your team sucks dick. So I hope that you get 7th place in the league and just miss the playoffs.
Keep watching, Ken, after we hang up on you, because I got some comments for you too. So.
Oh, here we go. I got comments for you.
Can you explain?
My advanced metrics show that your team will suddenly fall to 12th place. Well, it's not that hard to say, to drop down to 12th since I'm at 11th right now. So, so it's all good, man.
Well, he has a top 5 reliever from here on out in saves.
No, top 5 for the whole season.
The whole season. Yeah.
I mean, here we go.
Who's
Have
not going to be ready? Who's
a
not
good
going to be
night. Thanks for
ready?
having me
on.
That would have been so much better if he would have beat you. Oh my God, he would have beat you.
That's why you're the best in the business, buddy. The best executive producer in the business.
People got to get back to you. That was a 2-day in the. I was talking to him about that like on Saturday or Friday. I mean, but
I was on that chat too. So
no, not that part of it. The other part of it when I was just talking to Ken. But Niz, it's your floor.
Yeah.
Hey, so basically, I broke this down into.
Wait a minute. What are you talking about? All this is horse shit. It's the word. Just kidding.
Talking over me already. Okay, so I'm just gonna go over like this year. We really didn't do like I was actually disappointed. Nobody did preseason like rankings or anything like that. We went into the season and like nobody like ranked anybody. So I figure, hey, we're at a good point of the season. There's been a lot of trades, and we've sort of figured out who's sort of just done with the season and who's still sticking around and competing. So I'm going to do my rankings, and I'm going to basically give you what percentage chance they have to make the playoffs. So
this is like a ranking / playoff percentage, which is what you wrote down, but that's what this is?
Yeah. So we're going to do them in tiers. I'm going to throw from 12. We're going to start off with 12, 11, 10. I got at 12. Sorry, he's my boy. Peace out. I love you. But Dave, you're done. You're the worst team in the league. 12th is Dave. 11th is Max. And then 10th is Ken. Yeah, Ken's 10. So some might ask, I just tied Ken 5-5. Why might
I was going to ask that.
Yeah, why did I put him in this bottom tier? But the funny thing is Ken has tied or lost almost every single week. He's only won 3 weeks so far this year. And 2 of those were in the first 2 weeks, and he's only won one time since then. So his team is just there's too many holes within his team. I think he's pretty much done. I put Dave's team at a 1%, and Max's team at a 1%. I basically think they've sold off. They've got nothing else left. They're done. No chance of making it. They got a 1% chance of making it. And then just Ken's 5% because he tied me this week, essentially. So, thoughts?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I put – Max has got such a bad season. Dave fell off.
Like, I'd love to say Max has got a top team because I love his team, but it's been just unlucky.
Yeah,
he's probably one of the most unlucky teams I've seen.
I don't know. I don't know if I could rank 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, whatever, ranking like that, but like put in a tier, those 3 people, sure. I could see those 3 in that tier, kind of. I don't know. Yeah.
I can see Max moving up. He won't be a playoff team, but I can see him towards the top of the consolation group, I guess.
Yeah, and I see him
compared to Dave and Ken. I can see I think he's better than those 2 teams.
I agree. I think he's gonna definitely like spoil some people's seasons and stuff, but I think he's dug himself too far into a rut, and it's gonna be too tough for him to get out of that. So
yeah, I kind of agree with Dom said too. Like I think he is better. His team is better than Dave's and Ken's team. Maybe he should be a 10. I don't know, but maybe 9.
So next 3 teams I've got Ron Burgundy, Dom, whole team hurt, and Chris. So I put this as like a tier 3 dangerous upset teams with some mismanagement and some unlucky. Dom, you're right up there.
We just called you mismanagement.
No. Dom, you are right up there with
them. Off the show. Drop them.
I've been waiting for you to say that the whole time.
We were talking. No, we like Maddie's pointed out. Like you've got some of the best home runs and everything like that. Your power's legit. It's just your big hole is going to be the pitching every week. So it's tough. I'd love to give you a bigger chance than the 10% I gave you, but unless you make some major moves on your pitching staff, it's tough to rank you any higher than that. Whole team hurt and Chris are dangerous teams. They're right on that border. They're 8 and 7. There's been plenty of times where Maddie, you've said Memo's team, they played this player or this guy was on the bench this week. I don't know why he did. Like, there's so many times where they do that, or like Chris sitting on his money and stuff and just not spending it. Like I see that as mismanagement. And I, like, call me out on it. You wanna clap back or whatever and say that I'm shitting on your team. But if you're sitting on all that money and you're not spending it on people, then I feel like you're mismanaging it. So you're out of the playoffs until you do something with it. So Chris and Memo, it's tough because, like, I think Memo's got the best pitching staff. It's tough. Like, how do you look at that pitching staff? I spent $12. You know, I know, but it's he's got an amazing. Like, I'm scared to play Memo every week. But
by the way, it's whole teams here, not her.
Oh, whole team's here. Sorry.
I was like, who are you? Who is that team? It's like a matchup, a combination of Ken and Memo.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what that kid would look like?
That's a big head.
Yeah. No, I mean, I kind of see this like, I don't know, Chris team. I fully, he made a trade. I actually offered him. I just love pointing everything out on this thing, so why not do it with Chris too? But I was offering Rhys Hoskins to everybody, or at least I was trying anybody that I thought would want him, and I just can't get it. Like for a top 26 player, like no one wanted him. I mean, I can't get anything for him. Like I told you, I offered Sean for a top 50 pitcher or so, maybe better than that. He probably is better than that, but he denied it. But he said it was somewhat fair. He just didn't want to do it right now. Pitching's hard to get. I understand that. But Chris, this is what you and Chris made a trade last year, right?
Who, me?
Yeah, you and Chris made a trade. So last year, right before the trade deadline, he gave you $45, 3-year, $1 Devers, 3 years, $1 Giolito, who's now looking really good. And all you gave him,
worst trap ever.
wait, you gave him Freeman for 1 year and Clevenger for 1 year. Like, that's a lot to give up. Hindsight's 2020, and we know what these guys are doing now. But just go back to $45, right? I offered him, Cole. I offered him Cole, Garrett Cole, and Rhys Hoskins, and he was like $15 for Cole is kind of where we started, and then he was like $38 for those two, and I was like, I just don't understand it. Like, what are you gonna do with all the fucking money? Like, what are you gonna do with it? Even like
that's why I can't see him getting into the playoffs. That's why he's outside of the rest of these teams, because I have a feeling that if the teams above this tier, if they're going to be like, if they have a deficit on their team, they're going to make the moves that are necessary to fix that. That's why I put them in this tier, though.
Yeah, I mean, Dom can talk too. Just real fast, like, I mean, I was telling Memo, I was texting him earlier. I think he's got a good team. I had one amazing day. Otherwise, Memo probably should have won 8-zip. And I think that his pitching staff's finally coming here. His hitters, again, just going back to what I said earlier, I was trying to trade him something. I just don't think he's got a good team. I don't know if I would put him at 8. I think he's higher than that. I see Memo's team as making the playoffs. Honestly, I see Memo going to Chris and asking Chris, like, what if you want. I have Eloy Jimenez, and I have what's the pitcher from the pitcher from the Houston? He's got on his team who's on the injured list right now.
Forrest Whitaker.
Yeah, Forrest Whitaker. He's got. I mean, hey Chris, you want some minor league guys? Give me some of your guys. I don't know. We're ripping on Chris right now. No one is never going to come on the podcast. But
yeah, I know. Thinking for me, like, I know pitching wise, going into the season, I was high on and still am on Trevor Bauer. He's having a down year compared to what he normally is. He's not doing horrible, but for him he is. And then Carrasco was just horrible for pretty much the whole year. And then I thought Jimmy Nelson was going to be gone as much as he was going to be, and same with Wood. So those things kind of set my back, my pitching. I did punt saves pretty much, but yeah, I got some pieces. Like this said, if people need some stuff, I got plenty of offense for sure to help a team or two like Scotty.
Hey, you can't use this platform to sell your team off. Only I can.
Well, apparently you have to. Let everyone know.
I know. No one wants anything from me.
Okay.
Rhys Hoskins is the best.
But I think you haven't mentioned PJ. I don't think he really has anything to help himself selling wise compared to like Memo and Chris, obviously having the money and Memo having those guys where he could definitely make a trade to improve his team. So that's
Yeah,
all
I mean, again, I'm not going to say what Memo said to me. Sometimes I don't say stuff, but I was telling Memo again, like his team is like one of those teams that's like, you know, I was bashing on him at the beginning of the season. His pitching staff's not going to do it, cut it, because I don't think it would have. But then he finally got a couple closers, so I think it's a little bit better. I think that he can win those weeks, like against. I don't know if he can win a week against Scott, because Scott's just got more pitchers, or me, or Sean, or even PJ, because we got more pitching. So we could have a better week with the other stuff besides the ratios. But his hitting's going to come to it, and now that he's got a couple closers, it's a solid team, and I think it's a little bit above that 8. I think it's more like that 6-5 range.
All right, so let's get into that 6, and so I got 6-3 essentially the next tier. Tier 2, these are virtual playoff locks, but good teams that have some holes. So at 6, I have PJ's team. The Bryce is right. 5th, I put my own team.
Sucks.
4th, I got Kid for the win, and then 3rd, I got Bob the Bill. So both PJ and I are 75% chance. I see it. Kid for the win, 80%, and then Bob the Bill, 90%. And essentially, like I said, my thinking behind it was, I look at Chris's team, I look at Memo's team, and I like their teams better than PJ's. I think PJ's on the bubble, but there's mismanagement there again. There's times where Memo doesn't play a player. There's time like Chris is sitting on all this money, and it's like really that 6th spot is for the taking. And like even my spot, I'm you would have talked to me 3 weeks ago, I would have said I was higher than this, but my pitching sucked the last 3 weeks now. So I mean, even I'm for the taking. Like, I mean, I just tied against Ken, who should be selling and it's not for some reason. So, Scotty's team, if you look at it, like he's had so much, like where Max has had the unluckiness, Scott's like 1 week's worth, like where he would have lost offensively against every other team in the league, and they just had shittier weeks than him against him. Like it's mind-boggling how lucky Scott is on that stuff. Yes, his pitching, he's got a lot of pitchers and stuff, so it's tough to beat him in some of those categories. But his offense is just like, I honestly, like, that's why he's not out of my top tier. And then Maddie, your team's good. It is. You got good pitching, but you've got holes in your offense, I think.
I will like to point out that I think you've used the word holes more than I've used the word athletic on this podcast.
Yeah, right.
And it's really hard to do that. But I would switch. So you have PJ at 6, and you got Memo at 8, and Chris at 7 there. And going back to that first thing, the only thing that I was saying about this, because I was, as you were typing this in this the Google Doc we got, I was like, this is.
Oh, by the way, the comments under your team was has a small penis and doesn't satisfy his wife. So go ahead, finish your point. I'm talking over you. I'm a Maddie.
That's great. That's great. But I would move Max up to like that 10 spot, and I'd probably move Memo up to that 6 spot. PJ be down in that 7 spot. I even moved Chris down 1. He made a trade, and I do like it. I think it's going to help his team. So it's really hard between that 6 or 7. But just so, because we've already talked about all these other ones, like on that bubble right there, I mean, you got maybe even Dom's team. I mean, I don't know. It's a possibility, but more or less.
I think Dom's team is good. Yeah. It's been unlucky. I'm not saying Dom's team's bad.
On that bubble, on that bubble, I think you got Chris, you got PJ, and you got Memo, who are all on that bubble right there. And that's what you got. And you got them PJ 6, Chris 7, and Memo 8. I would honestly just flip PJ and Memo right now. And then just looking at Max's team and Dom's team, those two teams are teams that could strike, could change something, could I don't know. Those are all possibilities too. So but.
Just to finish it off, or Dom, you got any comments on the second tier?
Yeah, like I agree with most of what you said. I think PJ's that bubble team. I think Niz, PJ, Chris, and Memo. Those three are like the three fighting for that possible last spot. I think Memo and Chris. I think they have more access to make a move than PJ does. So that might come back to haunt PJ not having any things to trade or money. But it's gonna be. I think those three teams are gonna be fighting it out for that last spot. Possibly you. I think those four are going to be fighting for that last three spots.
Yeah, I agree.
So just to go kind of just real quick, like on PJ's team, I feel like this is a pick on PJ podcast.
No, we were picking on Chris earlier too. So.
Yeah, that's true. But like so week 17 on, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, he's got me, then he's got Sean, then Max, then Ken, then Drew. So you got 1, 2, 3 really good teams. One team that I think is, unlucky, dangerous.
Yeah, we said Max is dangerous.
It's an onslaught. And,
I don't want to be playing Max in the last couple of weeks. Like that's a tough matchup.
And then who else is on that bubble? You got and then you go into where is that? I can't even find it. Everyone's here. Whole team's here. His last kind of matchups too. It's maybe even scarier. I don't know. But 17, Drew, then Chris, then Sean, then Scott, and then he ends it with Ken. So that's kind of tough as well. So I don't know. Those two teams that we're talking about. Domino, you got Ken, Max, Dave, me, then Niz. Not too bad. Better than I don't know. So it is what it is. And the last two, or the finishing it up, you said? Sorry.
Yeah, the last two. I got Drew at number 2, 99%, and Sean at 1, 99%. Like, I think these are the most complete teams. They, for lack of a better term, they don't really have too many holes in their team. Like the difference between Sean and like Scott, where Scott had an off week, Sean had an off week, because Scott's had off weeks before. He's just gone against other teams that's had off weeks in the offense. So I don't really see Sean's offense normally as a liability as I do Scott. So these guys are pretty much locks. Like Drew's team's going to be tough to beat. Sean's team's going to be tough to get out of the playoffs. So they're pretty much in it. So,
well, I mean, you talked about like mismanagement. I mean, I do agree that like they should, Ken and Memo, they weren't playing guys around their bench. But I mean, talk about mismanagement. I think you want to, give a award for most mismanagement this year. It's Sean. Like he's got lucky with the pickups he's got. We just went over that. 3 pitchers in the last 2 weeks have just been amazing. And then after that, I mean, I don't know. I just like
if Sean wouldn't have made that trade 2 weeks ago, he definitely by far number 1. But I think he's so far ahead right now.
Mismanagement. I mean, like I'm sorry. I think he's got a good team. We're going to go back to this. I think he's got a good team. I just don't. I just see that like if you want to look at it, maybe all the underlying stats and the advanced metrics, Sean's playing above his pay grade. And then just Sean's team, for example, here.
Okay, so here's the difference. This is what I'm not saying. He's a 99% chance of winning the whole thing. I'm saying he's 99% of making the playoffs. Like he's so far ahead right now.
But you got to make the number 1 overall team. I don't even think he's the number 1 overall team. I think he's more like a 3 or a 4. And I think Scott. I don't know why you don't have Scott out there. He's number 1 right now.
Because Scott's offense has had multiple weeks where it's underperformed, where he would have been playing against any other team, and he would have lost. Like he's gotten so lucky.
So is Sean on his pitching. No one can pick up 3 pitchers and they be the top 10 pitchers in the week for 2 weeks in a row. That's extreme.
So then maybe lucky. Drew's number 1.
Maybe.
It'll be
We're
fun to look
arguing.
back.
We're arguing
It'll be
between 1,
fun.
2, and 3 here, so it's not bad.
It'll be
Yeah,
fun
we'll
to
see where
look
we're
back.
at the end of the season.
Yeah, agree. All right, that was a good segment. Some good information there. Thanks for sharing that, Niz. Now it's time for the most anticipated part of the show. Let's go. Get in the box, Maddie. Let's hear it. Let's hear your rant. Niz is
Let's
gonna
go get in
throw
the
up right
box. We're going a little long, and there's not too much that's pissed me off this week. So I kind of thought about it, and what I got is I listened to a couple of different podcasts. One of them, though, that I listened to is the CBS one, and how many times on that fucking podcast do they go on and on about, oh, their slugging percentage is this, or their OPB. His OPB is this. Well, he's a career such and such OPB hitter. Yes, I understand that stat correlates to stuff that we do in fantasy, but they don't always talk about the things that actually in fantasy. And maybe I shouldn't even be listening to that podcast because I feel like it's tailored more toward points leagues. And it is. CBS, that's kind of what they do better or more of, I don't know. But it's insane. And then even in the Athletic, the one that I love, On the Barrels, they talk about it a lot in there. And they don't I just wish there was a podcast out there that or a website out there that just talked about what we do and who has this and who has home runs, who has RBIs. And then, they went a little bit to the advanced stats and they talked about how those correlate to it better and not just giving out your slugging percentage or, oh, his ISO is really high. Great. So he's going to hit a lot of home runs or he's not, or, they're just throwing this shit out. So what I got, we need a one-stop shop website for fantasy baseball because I go to a lot of different ones. And we want someone's got to get on this, and you can steal it from me if you want, as long as I get to have it for free. But what, you got something?
Yeah, it's tough to say that because unlike fantasy football, where you have essentially a roto and a point, there's so many different
I know. So, I was getting into it. Hold on, wait. Got it. So in this website, you would essentially be a platform with just players, and you could put whatever you want into it. I mean, essentially it is, I'm talking a little bit like Fangraphs here, but you would put in whatever you want. So I could say, I want, I don't know, the Cincinnati Reds hitters from 2017 to 2019 year to date. And I want only to show me their, I don't know, ISO. And then it'd show me that, and then I click on it, and it would tell me what that means and what that's gonna what that would translate to my categories. Because then I would put in my categories in there. I don't know. It's a crazy thing, but I feel like it would be something fun, to even play around with. Maybe if I don't know anything about computers or building a website, but I don't know, it'd be fun. Something that I think you could use. I go to literally on my tabs right now open. I got 5 different things. I got the pitcher list. I got, of course, the Athletic Drink. I got CBS. I got Roto World. I got Fangraphs. I got which is a fantastic.
Hold on. I got the Athletic.
The Fantasy Rundown. If no one uses the Fantasy Rundown, do you guys use this one?
Yes.
That's one of the best ones out there.
There's
really one of the best.
Yeah.
What?
There's a lot on that one.
Everything. It's awesome. And then Twitter, of course. There's just. I guess the Fantasy Rundown does kind of put it all in together in one, and it kind of gives you, there's the little icon, the D for daily, or then you got the minor league stuff, which would be like a M in a box. So Fantasy Rundown does put the articles together for you. I want something that's going to put all the stats together for me, and then something to show me what those stats will correlate to or what they meant for in the past. Again, as always, be friend to your fellow fantasy baseball people and trade. Someone offers a trade, get back to them. I do want to just send a shout out to Ken. The dude always gets back to me, and I ask for it all the time. Just be active, and I have no real rant this week, but Ken's got back to me. Even Chris got back to me. So congrats to the league. I think everyone's being more active this year, and it's been working out really well. So let's go. Getting the boxes done. It was a short one, guys.
Yeah, very tame one. All right, we're gonna move on to next week's matchups. You don't have it right on the Google Docs, so
Completely wrong. I'll just
I'm
leave
gonna
it.
start off with mine then. I got me versus Memo. Not a great matchup for me, other than stolen bases and maybe saves. But I will definitely need some huge offensive week to even compete with him. I got Memo beating me 6-4.
And just Domino, just so you know, this is rivalry week. I don't know why I don't even know why I did choose week 11, but it's rivalry week. I have 2 rivalry weeks, so this is it. I thought, I did look at it, and I was kind of looking at it and who would be fun, like who would have known that I would have picked the number 1 and first place team for rivalry week? That's pretty crazy, though.
Yeah, we'll get to them last.
Yeah, sorry.
So, what do you got this week, me and Memo? I know you love Memo's team a lot.
Yeah, I've been talking. I think your hitting's going to go off again. It usually does. So I got you. I got you winning with something else. I don't know what it is. So instead of 3, I'll give you 4. Memo wins 5-6-4. Memo wins 6-4.
Okay. Go ahead, Miz. What do you got? Anything to add?
Nah, 6-4 sounds good. I mean, it's going to be tough. Like Memo's got some that pitching. It's going to be tough to go against that. So.
All right, we will move on to Maddie, you versus Dave. It should be all you this week. I got you 7-3.
Yeah, I mean, Dave's got some stuff on his team, but I was thinking 7-3, 6-4, somewhere in that range. I don't know. I got a couple more guys on the DL, but I got a couple guys off. The trade I made with Scott is going to give me a guy that's not even in the big. So, but that shouldn't matter too much. So, I'm going to go 7-2. I think Dave ties in 7-2.
Well, I sort of try to
figure. You torn here talking bad about your boy and
no, I tried to figure it all out, but I got Maddie here at 7-2.
Oh.
All right. We will move on to Ken and Chris. Should be Chris, but as we know, Ken likes to play
King of the Tie.
But Chris is going to get Mad Bomb and his other pitcher. I got Chris winning 6-3 this week.
Yeah, I actually got the same thing, 6-3. I looked at the pitchers. I just 6-3. Ken, you got lucky.
I'm curious because I got 6-4. What was the one that you guys got tied?
Stolen bases or quality. Yeah, probably stolen bases. They're both kind of weak.
I had stolen bases as well. No, I said 6-4, so I didn't have anything tied.
Yeah, I'm 6-4.
Or did I say 6-3? 6-3. Then yeah, because I had stolen bases tied. Sorry, 6-3. You're right. Sorry.
That's what I had.
Yeah.
All right, then we will go on to Niz versus Drew. We'll let Niz again, fairly similar teams. I think Drew steals ERA and WHIP with quality starts. I got Drew winning 6-4. That's my only thing is your pitching's been struggling, but very similar teams.
I see. You get your guest star on. You get your guest host on here, and you're gonna slap him down. No, in all honesty, I got us at 5-5. I mean, I think I don't think you're wrong, but I think that like Drew's hitting last week was excellent, but I'm going 3 weeks in a row with good hitting, so I think I can do. I think I could get him in hitting. I think I could. OBP's a question mark, and then saves. I think I got him in saves. So
definitely have
I got an 8. Drew 8, Niz 2. You're gonna win saves and stolen bases.
Got home runs?
Nope.
Okay.
And the guy who's gonna have you're gonna have like 5 stolen bases. You're gonna have like 4 from Hamilton.
But I should drop him, right?
No, he's gonna win your category this week. Yeah, I know. I mean, I think you got a good team, Niz, but I think Drew's kind of hot right now, and
Drew is hot.
so yeah, 8-2.
Okay.
All right. And then we got Max and PJ, very close offensive teams, I feel like. Max is obviously going to get stolen bases. Pitching will split. I got Max winning 6-4 this week.
I got listen. This is gonna be a 4-4 tie. It's gonna be a crazy week. It could even be a 3-3 tie. I don't know, but I was kind of going through it, and I just was like looking at it. I'm like, for whatever reason, I didn't think like one was better than the other, and kind of the matchups. And PJ, I think might have a couple more starters going, so could swing PJ's way. But 4-4 tie.
Yeah, I had PJ winning, but it was like 6-4. I could see it going 5-5 though. I mean, it's really close between the two.
Yeah,
it's crazy. And we were just talking about him as PJ is like a 6th seed or whatever you said, and Max is like a 12th seed or team. And yeah,
we're splitting hairs. That's pretty crazy. And then crazy, like you said, the rivalry, the big dogs, Sean versus Scotty. I'm picking Sean this week only because I like Sean's offense better than Scott's, and Scotty only has 7 starts where Sean has 9. So I'm going to give the advantage to Sean 6-4 because of the starting pitching, having more starting pitching than Scott this week.
Okay, Maddie, this is your quintessential like lucky teams right now. So you're saying like Sean's been amazingly lucky in pitching, and Scott's been lucky in hitting. So let's see what you got.
I think Sean, like I didn't say lucky in hit, and he's got a solid staff. Like the guys he drafted and some guys he's had in his team are good guys. He had 3 guys he picked off waivers again, and they did really well for him. I don't think they'll do it well for him this week, but he does have 9 versus what, 5 you said, or 7? 9 versus 7?
9 versus 7.
Yeah. So, and Scott's guys are good. I didn't look exactly to go see where they're going, but I mean, I don't know. I kind of like I like Scott 7-3 in this one. I think Sean's it could be closer than that. I don't know, but 7-3 Scott.
7-3 Sean.
Yeah, this is not liking Scotty's offense, and I'm assuming you're liking Sean with the extra 2 starts.
Yeah, I mean, like I that's the one advantage that Scott normally would have against somebody, but he's got the extra start. So I mean, I'm not believing Scott's offense. I'm just not. So I'm gonna pick Sean here.
All right. Well, that wraps up this week. Niz, any closing marks?
Thanks for having me. I love that you guys do this. I think people should create, and you know what you guys do. I highly respect it. I look forward to it every week. I'm glad you're able to get me on this. This is fun. This is like seriously, guys. Thanks.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed. I'm glad this time was a lot better than your last experience with Jill yelling at Matt about Game of Thrones.
No, just my kids coming in the background.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Maddie?
You know, I listen to a lot of podcasts, and there was one. I was a CBS one. They had a guy on there. He just wanted to read it wasn't really fantasy relevant per se. It was about fantasy baseball, but essentially what it was they had a league together for like 15 years, or it was longer than that. Maybe it was like 18 years. I think it was like 18 years, something maybe even longer. But it was long time. I feel like it. And the guys were together, and one of the guys passed away in his sleep, and they just wanted to say how fantasy sports brings people together. You know, a lot of the people that were in their league live all over the country, and I just think that, you know, this is a fun thing for me. I remember when fantasy first came out and trying to tell my mom and like my sister about it, and I think, you know, they were like arguing about like this is the stupidest thing in the world, and it may be, but you know, it's something fun we like doing. You know, we have, you know, Max, who lives in New York, PJ lives in DC area or Virginia, everyone else is kind of local for the most part, but we don't see each other that much, so it's fun. And I appreciate everyone in the league for everything. And I know I bitch and complain a lot about it, but that's my fun of it. So, sorry if you don't like it, just get over it, move on.
No, like, sorry, I know I already said my point.
My God, you just interrupted me like I don't know the fifth time.
No. Like, one of my favorite podcasts, like the thing that got me into podcasts was Fantasy Footballers. You guys, I know this is a baseball podcast, but Fantasy Footballers all started from just a group of guys that like started just an online like a YouTube channel, just talking about what was going on every week in their league. So I think it's amazing that you guys do this. I really do. Like, I wanted to do one like this forever, and I'm jealous that you guys did it first. So,
all right. Well, Maddie, anything else?
No.
All right, Niz, thanks again. I know you were just talking about podcasts, and I'm glad you came on again. I kind of see you spearheading football for the podcast. I've been thinking.
We'll see.
That's where my mind is if anyone's going to do a football one, it's going to be you. So
yeah,
we shall see. I know we're kind of weeks away from that, or months away, but that's where I envision. I probably see you jumping on that. Again, thanks for joining us, Niz. Earlier in the show, I talked about pussies, about Chris and Max. Love, again, everyone else has signed up, but you two, wish we could find a way to get you two on the show.
Or at the same time, both of them together.
Yes. Yeah, they could come on. The funny thing is, next week's guest is Sean Oskey. So we could, should be very
interesting. Vagina then? If they both come on.
Outstanding.
Good one.
Yeah. So next week's guest will be Sean for the second time. So we look for his third time with run-ins. So we're looking forward to having him on, and he can kind of tell Maddie where to go. Another week of people coming on the show to tell Maddie where to go, and it will be Father's Day next week. So looking forward to it. So until next week, Chicago baseball. You stay classy.
Cheers, everyone. Have a good one.